I've stole a little more time here. I want to go over as many of these questions that you have as I can. So I'm just going to get right to the point and try to shuffle myself along here without flapping too much. Enough to say I love you guys and your work and everything that you're doing. You're an asset to life all around you. My name is Maria. I recently came across your YouTube channel, and thank you to sweetheart for that. I am 46-year-old single mom of 3 kids. Holy moly. 46 years old, straddled with 3 children, 19, 14, and 5. Honey, man, did anybody tell you how you form these little things? 5 years old, and then you got a 19 and a 14. Boy, you had some time between the 5 and the 14-year-old. Got your hands full. I was in the middle of health crisis when God intervened and found your website. I am very grateful. What's going on, sweetheart? I had recently had 3 very bad kidney infections in a row. You see, guys, kidneys. Big deal for people. Look at this poor thing. UTIs, 3 kidney infections, bam, bam, bam. I was prescribed Cipro. Oh, my God. Killer Cipro. You know, here's another. Remember we talk about how bad Cipro is. It's a killer. It's killed a lot of people, and they still use it? FDA, what's that? You know, well, some of this is going to get crammed up, you know what, when the thing hits the fan here. All these fatal event pharmaceuticals are going to, it's just really going to change some things. First for 14 days, and a higher dosage is for another 14. This is the problem. We have a radical modality out there called the allopathic or medical society. These are radical people doing radical things against humans. One day, giving someone Cipro will be seen as an act of war because you're giving them a drug that has the potential to kill them, and you're knowingly doing that. Right now, it's okay, I guess. I have been pumped full of meds since the birth of my last child. When I was hospitalized for severe postpartum depression. Now, this is a very important individual here. Maria is very important for a lot of ways. I want you guys to remember this. When a woman has postpartum depression, why? What made her go into depression? A lot of people do not associate depression and calcium. Link them together. Because when your parathyroid isn't allowing you to utilize calcium properly, depression comes in. Here's a mother, 3 kids, all 3 kids robbing her body of calcium, and with a parathyroid weakness, she can't put it back and gave her major postpartum depression. She's lucky. She's lucky she still has her marbles here. Remember Andrea Yates? She drowned 5 of her babies. Major postpartum depression. She's still on antidepressants and things like this. These guys don't learn. And this is an important thing. Is this, Maria, you can be helped. You can stop this. Parathyroid right off. You got to get into a parathyroid formula. I would take kelp with that. Start building my calcium reserves back up. And of course, you know the kidneys are down, so the lymph system is down. Then your lymph system is down. That creates acidosis, which pulls more calcium out of you. So now you've got babies pulling calcium, and you've got acidosis pulling calcium. So you can see you're caught in a vicious cycle here. And then, with these ridiculous antibiotics suppressing the lymph system, they're locking you and locking you in a world of hellville. For the past 5 years, I've been through horrific divorce and custody battle, losing over 100 pounds in 1 year. Well, guess don't have adrenal glands anymore. Poor thing probably doesn't have adrenals worth a heck. Very stressful. No kidding, sweetheart. Man, I have to hand it to you. You're writing this letter to me. I was prescribed about 4 meds. I chronically suffer from Candida and a bone infection in my jaw. I also was diagnosed with a blood disease, mainly because of very bad deliveries and recovery giving birth. Well, your blood's easy to clean up, sweetheart. Get on a blood formula. Get your liver cleaned up. Get your kidneys cleaned up and your spleen cleaned up. But to tell you the truth, if you get focused here, You get on your kidney formulas, you get on your lymphatic formulas, you can add a liver gallbladder formula. Your fruits and berries and melons are the best blood cleansers and pH normalizers that you can eat. Those are perfect for the blood. High flavonoids, great for vascular wall integrity, great for blood integrity. Absolutely. Get your adrenals up. It'll give you more iron, more oxygen carrying capacity of the body. I had a lump in my throat last summer and prescribed Cipro for 30 days. You know what? Do not rethink Cipro, sweetheart, because the next time could be your last. Cipro kills. Cipro causes blood clots, strokes, and heart attacks. Look up the PDR on Cipro. It's right there. And yet they give it to you. I can see why you hate Cipro. They're trying to go after the wrong thing here. They're trying to go after your bacterium, which is trying to break down your sewage for you, instead of going after your sewage. You have to stop, get yourself smart, and go after your sewage. Get your kidneys fixed. That's number one. Get your kidneys and adrenals. Everything will start moving. Get your lymph system. Start cleaning up your bowels. Get your parathyroid up so you can start utilizing calcium and get your happiness back. I did complain to a doctor about side effects, but I was repeatedly told to finish all antibiotics. Sometimes it make you just want to finish those guys. These guys are just supreme nuttos, some of them. As a result, last week, my entire body became swollen. Ugh. My neck and face. Oh, my God, honey. When you see this, sweetheart, you take the responsibility to stop yourself. Don't do everything you're told, sweetheart. Start standing up and being an individual. And I think when you fix your adrenals, you get your parathyroid fixed, you're going to have self-confidence. You're going to become a strong woman. You're going through hell. God's testing you. God's making you strong woman, because you're either going to get strong going through this or you're going to fall. And if you fall, you just got to get back up and get right back on the road again. So don't take it. Stand up. Become strong. Get your spirituality together here, sweetheart. And when the doctor says Cipro, tell him you take it. You know, you're going to the wrong docs. And you got to stop and get yourself fixed up here. That's all I got to tell you. All the swelling in the throat. No, don't go there right now. I was just having this conversation with my last client. People are popping tumors all over the throat, the neck, the voice box. Thyroids, tumors are popular out there. I mean, it's on and on and on. Stop this now before you even have a brain tumor. You've got to stop this. Get yourself on a raw food diet. Move yourself to a high fruit and berry and melon diet. Get these kidneys fixed up. If you can afford to go on the herbs, get on these herbs. They'll help you here, put you on a protocol just for you. You know, call in, talk to Jen B if you have to. I was urinating blood. And body was very inflamed. My heart hurt and my extremities were numb. Holy crap. I stopped Cipro, don't you think? Holy crap. Jesus criminy. Even though my doctor told me not to. Thank you. That's a little bit of a woman warrior in you, honey. You stand up, you become a woman warrior. You become strong. You become a knowing woman. You know what's up and how to fix it. You watch these videos and get yourself smart, sweetheart. And don't be a leaf blowing in the wind. That's a worse position to be in, because then you're always the effect. And someone's always pounding on you. Get strong. Get your adrenals up. That'll make you emotionally strong. Get your parathyroid up. That'll pull you out of depression and give you more of a self-worth feeling of love for the self. I have been through many tests and have been told my kidneys and liver are not functioning and are inflamed. Well, no kidding. Send me your blood work. I stopped testing at the request of a CDC scan. I have had quite enough conventional medicine. I'm thinking that too. Since I found your site, I am on raw food diet. Yeah, and feeling much better. I am off high blood pressure medications and trying to wean off anti-anxiety meds. Get your adrenals up, sweetheart. Go for the parathyroid. See how lovely raw foods are pulling you out of this already. I have a lot of problems, but for the first time since the birth of my youngest, I am not listening to my RX pushing doctor for family. Thank you, my dear. I was wondering what formula I should start with. Well, for me, I'm going into the kidneys. And since you have trouble with 2 kidneys, 1 capsule, 1 liquid, I also would do the lymphatic system, 1 capsule, 1 liquid. I do a GI tract formula. I definitely would probably do upper circuit, brain, and nerve just because all the insult there to the head area and stuff. I would do parathyroid glandular maybe 1-3 times a day. I'd add kelp with that baby. And take kelp 1 or 2 capsules 3 times a day and do a bottle or 2 of that. See, pull yourself back into a state of happiness and get rid of this depression. That's a parathyroid problem. That's a calcium problem. Your babies took your calcium. Time for mama to put all this back in her. Having a 5-year-old, it is my intent to feel well and be around for him and my other children without being sick and fatigued all the time. I'm on your side, sweetheart. Some guidance on correct steps to take toward wellness is much appreciated. God bless. Honey, get on, review these videos, get on our website. We have standard protocols for you here. We have a 14-week protocol. You can get yourself on that fairly quick and start getting these kidneys opened up and filtering. Remember kidney filtration. Get your adrenals up. That's your emotions. That's your neurological system. And you'll start getting all this out of you and you'll start feeling good again. You'll start moving this postpartum depression. You'll get that out of you. Your bones will rebuild. Your connective tissue will rebuild and you'll be in good shape. P.S. I heard you state something about mothers meeting their children on astral plane. Yep. I was 15 weeks pregnant and was being pushed into getting an abortion. I was told never to have any more children after my second child because during delivery I lost consciousness and they could not stop bleeding. Holy crap. In recovery, I partially lost my vision and was very sick for a long time afterwards. Holy crap, sweetheart. You do need to spend some time getting yourself healthy. There's no question about that. I will concur with that. I was also on depression meds, and my now ex-husband was telling me our child would be deformed and I was too old to handle birth. Plus, we were at the end of our marriage. Having a child was not the plan. The night before the scheduled abortion, I met my son on the astral plane. Go, girl. I was told that my child was whole. I went before a huge kind of council. That's pretty cool. Yeah, baby. I went through the consequences of terminating his life and or mine. When I woke up, I told my husband I wasn't getting an abortion and I wanted a divorce. Yeah, those masters definitely empowered you. Good job, sweetheart. That's what life's about. Being aware of all these other levels, the thrill, the opening up of these high levels of heavens, the meeting of spiritual dudes. That sort of thing. Yeah, which I wanted for over a decade. Well, you're getting strong, woman. I have had many astral travels and really enjoy hearing you talk about yours. I have kept them to myself. I was told I was mental. Oh, sweetheart, you're not mental, you're spiritual. This world doesn't like spirituality because it means change. And the average person is a herd follower. Remember the old saying, if you're not lead dog, the view's always the same? Notice how herd cattle, you herd them in for slaughter, and then you eat them? You know, that's the thing. Be lead dog in your world. Be God. Be that love, that consciousness. And work on your health, and you'll be able to get your health back quite readily, real nicely here. And it sounds like you're becoming a warrior woman, a woman that's strong, a woman that knows that she is the God force. And I really appreciate all that you're doing. But Cipro, you're lucky you're still here with it. That's all I got to say. And look at what it did to your body. I mean, this sort of thing is FDA needs to pull this. No, they would rather stop the use of herbs. That shows you how criminal these people are. You're not a criminal if you stand up for truth. If you don't stand up for truth and you're allowing a fatal event, drugs out on the market, you're a criminal. You're a criminal. And I don't care how you wrap that or how you kiss that. You just you endanger the public health and safety of humans. And that's what these people do. They're scary. These are the worst of the worst. There's no rationale allowing toxic chemicals on the market, fatal event chemicals. There's no rationale that you can give to say this is okay. Especially when you understand there's no curative value to pharmaceuticals. These are supposed to be stat needs only, meaning emergency needs only, short-term use only, and that's those that don't create fatal events. This is that RMA 516. Hey, man, this is an interesting one. I have been watching your videos for a while and have tried a few of your products. I love what you're doing and think you have a way better approach to health than the rest of the medical community. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. We all do. And if we work together, we're going to show the world just how simple it is to get to Wellville. You know, some people are working for it, but you know what? It's still there. Question: what are the dangers of masturbation? Don't say that I know any. You know, when I was living in the woods and being a fruitarian thinker, I was also celibate. And there's definitely a, I don't know how to say it. It's really, you know, that old story of Samson and getting his hair cut. You know, it was just really a sexual event. You know, when a male, probably even a female, you know, when you have that event, then you're pretty tired after that. You know, you've had that moment of ecstasy. But to tell you the truth, I don't know of any. You know, I think that, and this gentleman, let's see if I go on here. I'm talking about at least once a day, if not more. I have a very active sex life with my spouse, but also use this as stress relief. Well, you know, I'm kind of strung up at those levels too. I mean, of course, I like romance and stuff like that. I think romance between two people is incredible. And I love that. I don't know about masturbation. I think it doesn't hurt anybody. You know, I've often said these are the few times that you experience the divine in an ecstasy situation. So I don't have a problem with that. I think, however, though, that you can find some excessive testosterone will create things like that. And so by getting yourself healthy, I think you'll find a balance, if you can say that's excessive. You know, to some people, making love once a week is adequate. To me, once or twice a day would be better. But then, you know, look at primates. They make love, 30 times a day? That's quite a bit. So I don't know. I think everyone is on a different road with that. I think once your endocrine glands are healthy, there will be a balance to that sort of thing. But, you know, the merging of two into the one. I've been having the following symptoms: acid reflux, extreme gas, and bloating after I eat, vision problems, memory trouble, problems with judgment when driving, extreme fatigue, breathing problems, joint problems, inflammation around the heart, 3 times in the hospital for pericarditis, which is inflammation around the heart, what leads to congestive heart failure. This is lymph. Let me see here. Not being able to keep muscle after workouts and stress. Well, the suggestion here is, of course, lymph. That's a pericarditis. This also the loss of muscle, malabsorption. This is all through the GI tract. You might have high sulfur in the GI tract. That's why the gassy, bloaty experience with that. Or your pancreas, you're not digesting your foods properly. Therefore, you're fermenting your foods, getting gas from that. But it sounds like you might have a high sulfur, high fungal problem with this too. That's real possible. Get your eyes, see if there's orange in your eyes. So if we go back to the following, acid reflux. Remember, most acid reflux isn't the wanted kind. It's the kind that is interstitial, burning from the inside out. True acid reflux would be a pancreatic problem. Therefore, you would produce hydrochloric acid in the event of eating a protein, and that hydrochloric acid and pepsin would be hard to be neutralized with bicarbonate because the pancreas would be low in the production of bicarbonate. That is a real probability and possibility in one. This would also explain the gas and bloating. But also, on the other hand, interstitial lymphatic constipation, or the lymph backing up, would explain more of a burning through the body. Sulfur would explain gassy, bloating symptoms all the time. So it could be a little combination of all these. Extreme gas and bloating after I eat. Again, that could be pancreatic or liver. Also, it could be sulfur problems, either way. Vision problems, memory trouble, because you're backed all the way up in the head, my friend, and you need to drain the sinuses. Have a good cold and flu-like symptom on me, please. Or, try to get your sinuses drained. To do that, you have to clean up this GI tract. So I get myself on an herbal regimen. That's what I prefer. I go into the GI tract. I use the GI broom, stomach and bowel formulas, lymphatic capsules, everything pulling and drawing to clean the gut. I'm also going to use upper circuit, brain, and nerve because you're losing some coordination functions or whatever. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve. Those are my two lovelies. I love those two for connecting and for enhancing and for awareness. Great stuff with that. But go after your kidneys, go after your adrenal glands, breathing problems. This suggests real low adrenal glands. This also could suggest why the hyperactivity of sexuality, although this could tie into your emotions and everything else too. Don't see it as a problem like some do, I suppose. The breathing problems, it's a neurological. Breathing is a neurological event, and it's a parasympathetic sympathetic event. So this is an autonomic event. Going back to kidneys and adrenals, but also going to draining the brain and hitting the parasympathetic here. Definitely want to do all those things. Joint problem just shows inflammation in the joints, which what's the word for inflammation? Acidosis, right. So acids is what system? The lymphatic system again. That's going right back to kidneys again. Inflammation around the heart, you're just backed up all through you. You've got to stop that. You've got to get focused. Get your kidneys filtering and start draining your lymph system. Your heart will drain just like your bowels will drain. And that's what you want to do, or congestive heart failure. I mean, these are bad things. Not being able to keep muscle afterwards. Get your bowels cleaned up where you got good absorption, and then you'll put on good muscle here. My eyes have been bloodshot for months in the same place. Yeah. You're highly acidic. All these blood vessels shows acidosis, so you're just highly acidic. This is a knock at your door, my friend. Get your butt going and get yourself detoxed. And don't wait till tomorrow. Start right now. All right? You're drawing a really good picture for us here, so really good to see. Remember, when you see bloodshot eyes, you see systemic acidosis. Just remember that, guys. And I haven't had clear urine in months either. Well, that could be a good thing. This has got me to where I can't work for more than one of the above reasons. Well, I'll say this. If you've got cloudy urine, you're really ahead of the game. Get moving and you can open all this up. Get away from all your proteins. Really hit the fruit, berries, and melons and start getting yourself cleaned out, man. Other than stopping this, what are some things I could use to get things back to normal? All the above. All the above. This is Rick, by the way. And so, Rick, get yourself a detoxing. When you're talking about masturbation and all these sort of things, as you get away from the proteins and as you get your kidneys filtering, the prostate comes clean, everything comes clean, your energy starts coming up here. And this is where your energy settles. And you become more awake up here. So you really start living life more etherically, more consciously, and the lower levels somewhat come down a little bit, I've always said if you want good sex, have a piece of meat. That turns on the gonads and off you go. But then again, good love and romance turns on the gonads too, guys. So always love thy partner. Rick? Okay, so I'm going to keep this one anonymous. I was paralyzed from the waist down from a surgery when the doctors neglected to keep the blood flowing to my spine during the procedure. There is no physical trauma to the spine, except blood is not refusing to flow across the BBB to nourish my spine so that I may walk again. My question is, what essential oils and or herbs do you suggest that are most beneficial for my recovery? Okay. So this is what I would do. Lower circulation, big time. use the lower circulation formula. I would get into my kit. I would go into a regular detoxification mode because detoxification is the process of regeneration. You can get new vascular pathways, new nerve pathways, and I would get myself way up on fruits, berries, and melons. It'll increase blood flow to all tissue. The flavonoids will inspire better capillary growth and health. I mean, this is the way to do that. So I would, myself, I'll be giving me lower circulation. I'd be giving me 2 kidney formulas, 2 lymphatic formulas. I'd be cleaning up my bowels. I'd be going aggressively into my body in that way, getting it highly alkaline again and really reconnecting that spine. And there's no reason you should be in that chair when you do these things. So I want you up out of that chair and walking, and you just follow these protocols. If you have to go on, get a kit, get going, detoxify, add lower circulation. And you might even add brain and nerve number 2. That would be another one I would probably take as brain and nerve number 2, which will enhance the spinal column and the neurons. I'd be thinking of that. Make sure your adrenals are up with neurotransmitters. Go into the body and make it well, and you'll be out of that chair, guaranteed. Hi, doctor. I am in the UK. I came across your video on YouTube. I have this constant mucus at the back of my throat for almost 1 year now. Okay? I have been. And this is the lymph system again. This is from the mucosa. And when you produce mucus, you know you've consumed a protein your body doesn't want. Most of the dairy products, UK, maybe cheese, but cheese, yogurts, kefirs, milks, ice creams, these things, these proteins are the most mucosic, responsive proteins on the planet. They cause all this mucus. I don't know if you have a deviated septum. Sometimes if you have a deviated septum, your sinuses drain in the back of your throat instead of down through your nose. So you can either get that fixed or, detox and get ready to have some sore throats and get ready to move this stuff out, because you need to express this mucus outside of you and not put it more back in, because this has got to stop one of these days. You want to see the expectoration of mucus, whether out of the nose, out of the throat, bronchi. That's vital to being healthy, because we all have had milk and dairy products in our lives to some extent, except for the rare few that they have great parents. So you want to get this mucus out of you. Fruits, berries, and melons, pull this out. Real dark greens can. I have been to doctors, even ENT doctors, and they keep telling me to use sinus rinse and some sprays, but it is not working. Something the much is like a glue, and something is becoming very thick. Well, this lymph, remember, it deals with the acid side of chemistry. This lymph is your sewer system. It's also your main immune system, by the way. Wouldn't it fit that these two would be the same system? Absolutely. So, you know that the more acidic you are, this mucus gets thicker and thicker. You want to detoxify your whole body. You want to clean your bowels, get your kidneys filtering. You want to go a whole body approach to this, and then you'll stop. Once this is all cleaned out, you're done, because you've learned not to put it back in. You've learned that certain foods are mucus forming. End of story. Even hot peppers can be mucus forming. Any overstimulation of the mucosa, whether it's the sinus, the mouth, the GI tract, causes mucus. Now we got to deal with the mucus. And so, it just comes from a lot of dairy foods in people's lives, this heavy mucus. You want to clean this out of you, because that can be your next tumor, that can be your next cancer, that can be your next problem. I am 29 years old and stopped eating dairy products. Good man. That's the first good thing I've heard here. You need to do that. Please, your advice will highly be appreciated. You're welcome, my friend. This is PP. So get your body opened up, get your kidneys filtering, get your adrenals up, start pulling this mucus out of you. For upper respiratory stuff, we have 3-lung tea, we have lungs number 2. This always helps to clean upwards, but you got to clean up the bowels, get the kidneys filtering. Go fix your body holistically right now, and you'll be happy the rest of your life. You're only 29 years old. So fix everything now, and you'll live on and on and on. You'll be happy when you do it. You'll be more spiritual. You'll have more fun. And then the doctors won't hurt you trying to deal with this simple problem of mucus. Dear Dr. Morris, thank you so much. I really appreciate your way to manifest love. Same to you, my friend. Thank you very much. This is a gentleman from Italy, Federico, Federico from Italy. Thank you, my friend. 2 questions here. How could a patient with kidney failures get out from the dialysis when he is doing 3 times a week since 5 years? Well, first of all, in dialysis, you want to get yourself peeing again, because you can't get off of dialysis unless you start self-urinating. And a lot of times dialysis in itself will stop you from urinating. Watch your creatinine levels, see where they are. But your whole goal is to go into those kidneys while on dialysis and start making them healthy. Yes, your potassium and phosphorus are going to go up and down. Big deal. Let them do the phosphorus binders, blah, 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 blah. But keep going. Did a superfood blend, ours or somebody's, and after every dialysis treatment, hit your blood with a superfood blend. And then, because they strip your blood virtually, so hit your body with a superfood blend, and then fruits, berries, and melons. Take the kidney formulas, get the adrenals up, start getting yourself. If you're not peeing, you got to work yourself to urination first. You got to be able to start peeing on your own first. And as you start peeing, you'll start then looking to filter. Because what happens is you start filtering, the kidneys stop filtering, then after a while, the creatinine starts going up after that, blood pressure goes up, pee starts getting smaller and smaller, and after a while now your creatinine's soaring, you're on dialysis because you can't hardly pee, or you stop completely, or they stop you. So you got to get yourself peeing on dialysis. Go after the health of the kidneys, even if you use a kidney glandular, kidney herbs. Go after the body. Do the raw foods. I don't care what they say about potassium in foods. So you can't avoid it. And it's a kidney problem. That's why the potassium problem. Sodium and potassium, kidney and adrenal glands. I would like to know if it's true, the statement which affirmed that when somebody is unhappy, stressed, or angry, it creates an acidity in the body. You can take that to the bank. You can take that to the bank, Federico, because stress is an acidic, anger is acidic. All this creates acidosis in the body for sure. Now, when you're overly angry, check the liver, detoxify the liver, because that's the seat of anger, but also get the adrenals up, the emotions up, and everything else. But get yourself off of dialysis if this is you. If it's someone else, this is once you're on dialysis, you've got to work hard to get off of it. You can wean off of it, you can get off of it, but you first got to get yourself peeing. Then you can go down to 2 days a week, especially once you're urinating well. You can go down. The creatinine's coming down well, you can go to 2 days, and then eventually you can be off. But it's a trip. There's a trip, and there's a lot of ups and downs, but who cares? You got to get there anyway. You got to walk the walk. Hello, Dr. Morris. My name is Elaine, and I want to thank you again for an incredible Level 1 class. Thank you, honey. I hope you liked it. I thought this was one of the better Level 1 classes, not because of the people, because you're all great. It was just, if you all were open, and you made me open. And that was really good, because I've held back talking spirituality because, you have people that don't want it, and due respect, they're there to learn about health, so it's hard for me. But it's hard for me in classes not to teach how creation is designed. The map makers have already put it together. It's easy to tell you how creation works, how it's put together, how your bodies work, and that helps you to understand the cell and genetics of the cell, and how energy and chemistry are created, and what that really is. It really helps you, and that's why I like the Level 1 class like that. So thank you so much for the comment. I appreciate it. And one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. I think about it every day, and I will do my best to practice and teach against. Oh, thanks. Love you. Love you. Thanks so much. I have so many questions for you, but will only ask one for sake of time and fairness. Forgive me if this question has been asked already. I've had many pets in my life and feel that I get along with them better than most people. Yeah, you're not alone with that. It's because people get so opinionated. And animals, they just love, baby. Plants the same way. They just love. They all have their little ways and their little opinions, including plants. Let me tell you. But they're still loving people and things. Well, I call them people, but... And I'm sure I'm not alone. Most have lived long lives, but a few not so long. We know what vaccines do to humans. What do you think they do to the animals? The same thing. The same thing. I hate that. rabies vax and all this stuff like that. I hate all that. It's just, remember, an omnivore is real close to us. And you can treat them just like you treat Homo sapiens or herbivores. All of us are kind of in a close chain. Frugivores and omnivores fairly close, as opposed to herbivores, which have, since they're just primarily in vegetable matter, they have a real long digestive tract. You don't need to have that long a one when you're a fruit eater. And if you look at most omnivores, they're grass, fruits, berry eaters. Except for some of the more canine type, which then eats more protein. But grizzly bears and black bears, they don't eat high-protein diets, contrary to what people think. Matter of fact, I just saw a special on black bears, and they were saying black bears have an 85% grass diet. I thought that was interesting. I knew grizzly bears have a 65% sage-grass diet, and then about 14% berries, tubers, and other things, and then only about 7% meat. And generally, the older bears we were talking about earlier, fat, to put on fat for glycogen, for sugars, for ATP when they're hibernating. Just common sense stuff. We know what, okay, I would imagine it's toxic for them too. You're right on, sweetheart. What are your thoughts on this? Absolutely. Elaine, I love you, dear one. Detox your animals like you do yourself. Really do that. Dogs do better, particularly as vegetarians, than they do omnivores. They do their coats are better, their hair's better, their breath is better, everything's better. But, it's hard. I have a little Shih Tzu, and that boy's a staunch meat eater. Can't get him to eat his veggies. I have some that I found only one formula he'll eat, and it's got pea powder and other things in there, and of course he poops the best. He does the best on it. It's hard. It's hard when you have another little person or a little being that you have to take care of, but it's hard not to love them to death. I'm just about out of time here. Now, God, you got so many great questions. There's a 25-year-old male. I'm suffering from chronic asthma. All right. Okay, so here's the thing, man. Let's see. Who is this? Oh, I can't pronounce your name. Faisal. All right. So here's the thing. Here's a 25-year-old male that's suffering from chronic asthma. So right off the top of my head, antispasmodics. Excellent for controlling this. Inhalers, cancer-causing. So always have them there for yourself, but use an herbal antispasmodic. It relaxes the bronchioles, it relaxes the lungs, and allows you to expectorate. At the same time, you're going into those adrenal glands because every asthmatic that's the beginning of what we call COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. The asthma is the beginning stage. These are neurological events along with congestion in the lung, both aspects. So you're going to detoxify mucus and stuff out of your lungs, but you must strengthen the nervous system to do that. And that is an adrenal experience. I'd use brain and nerve too. That's a great one to help with that. But I would also enhance my adrenals with adrenal glandular. I'd get my kidneys filtering. Start pulling as much of this congestion down and out your kidneys as you can. At the same time, strengthen the autonomic to that. Clean up the GI tract, since the stomach and the solar plexus, the nerve ganglia for all of this. So detoxify yourself in that way. Use the antispasmodic when you get tight. If you need to grab an inhaler, use an inhaler. Nebulizer, much better. Be careful with these inhalers. Very cancer-causing. Tampa Tribune, big local newspaper here, wrote a huge story on these a lot of years ago, the cancer-causing effects of inhalers. A steroid, too. So the other problem is you must back up your adrenals, because there you're going to lose your steroids. So you got to back up those adrenals. I would get adrenal glandular 400s and probably pop 1 or 2, 3 times a day, because you're going to run some low blood pressure. Once you start fixing all this stuff, you're going to see some real low blood pressure here. Uptaking steroid inhalers for my asthma, but tossed them away many years ago. Wow, this is a good kid. Also, I felt they weren't doing much for me, which they don't. I learned about the benefits of raw food a couple of years ago through Dan McDonald, and have been trying to incorporate as much. Go, man, go. Follow that raw food. Dan's a good example of that. I don't consume dairy, breads, grains, caffeine, or processed foods. Good man. On special occasions, I have had little meat, but am working more towards becoming vegan. Good man. And put yourself on a fruit fast. Really dig in deep. I would do lungs number 2, and I'd probably drink the 3-lung tea, too, to help initiate a cleansing response, but you need a neurological strengthener as well. Just remember that other component to this. That's the adrenals, that's the autonomic nervous system, and do that. There's a lot of food that I haven't been able to eat without getting asthmatic symptoms, because your body doesn't want that. So, okay, maybe even fruit might be a radical at first. So go slow through the vegetables and fruits, but end up doing fruits, berries, and melons. Get yourself way up there. Anything's going to evoke a protein or it's going to evoke an immune response, you don't want that. Anything that's mucus forming, you don't want that. That's dairy, that's meat, that's high protein anything. I believe my condition to be related to my liver. Whatever I eat fatty foods like coconut, nuts, and seeds or avocado, I get difficulty breathing. Aha! Well, that's an interesting take. So definitely you might want to detoxify the liver gallbladder, do a liver gallbladder flush maybe. And it kicks in maybe an hour or two after the meal. That's unusual because that should be passed through that part of the small bowel, not need the bile anymore. It also could be your bowel that's causing that too. This all is hooked in. Your GI tract is totally hooked in neurologically to everything. After much thought, I figured it must be that my liver is not releasing enough bile to help digest fat. That's possible, but an hour and a half afterwards, I don't know, man. That should have been on down past there. But can't make sense of where asthma comes into play here. No, that's the autonomic nervous system. The coordination to that is stomach. Solar plexus, that's your nerve ganglia of the autonomic. Parasympathetic, sympathetic, adrenal glands, cerebellum, all this controls breathing, heart, everything else. So it could be you have some serious stomach issues. Acid settling there, spawning spasms or something. Could be. Let me see. But can't make sense of whether asthma comes into play here. Perhaps there isn't enough bile to neutralize the stomach acid. Well, you could have a point there. It might not be enough bicarbonate from the pancreas to neutralize stomach acid. That's another thing you might think of as bicarbonate. But you want to stay away from proteins anyway. That's one of the processes of getting well is getting rid of protein. So I'd stay away from them. And here's a good example right here. Therefore causing my gut to become inflamed and somehow. This could be spasming the neurological system, making it tight up here. Absolutely. So anything that's going to spasm, well, that'd be anything that would have a tendency to leach calcium. That's another thing you might want to look at is the parathyroid and make sure your parathyroid is up so you're utilizing calcium. And that way you're going to strengthen the nervous system as well because calcium plays a main component in neurological function as well. So that's a good point. You might have to hit that. Stay away from proteins, nuts, seeds, berries. Stay away from grains and beans. Stay away from these things. Get yourself on fruits, berries, and melons and really detoxify, build, strengthen, and you'll be past this. I recently did a liver flush using the Epsom salts, olive oil technique, and flushed a significant number of stones. I think you mentioned in one of your Q&A videos that liver flushing this way is, isn't the best way to detox liver, but you could please elaborate on this. Well, I don't know about the Epsom salts. Doesn't matter. You already did it. That's perfect. You got out of stones, spasms of liver. I'm thinking you're really looking at stomach and autonomic and things like that. But that was good. Keep detoxifying. Keep cleaning yourself out. Strengthen the autonomic nervous system through either neurological herbs like our brain and nerve formulas. Also by enhancing adrenal function, neurotransmitters. It'll strengthen the myelin sheaths. Things like that. Get your kidneys. Start detoxifying the lymphatic system. My daily regimen is juicing in the morning with some fruit throughout the day and a salad in the evening. I'm also taking supplements which include chlorella. I don't know about all that. I don't know if I would get into that, especially with what you got going on. I've been doing this for over a month now, and it has helped me. I also try to get some sun while doing a little rebounding on the trampoline daily to get the limbs moving. Oh, man, absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. You might want to set yourself up and get yourself on a protocol and really go after your body in a focused manner for a while. Clean it all up, and you'll pull yourself out of asthma, especially before you have kids. And pass this whole neurological adrenal thing up. I don't have any more time. Always run out of time talking to you guys. But all these questions are good. All these questions are very important. And applying these answers hopefully will help you at a great deal there. And I think you'll be fine there, guys. So just work that. Remember, always the nervous system is strengthening one's nervous system, either through the adrenals or through nervine type herbs, and just keep strengthening your body, and cleaning it out of all the acids and the inflammation. Might want to think of the parathyroid in that case in terms of strengthening the nervous system and the connective tissue, etc., etc. All right, guys, you have a great night. I got to take a break. Everybody's closing out there, banging on the door. So Sorry I had to go so fast. But you have so many questions here. I would love to get to every one of them. I'll keep plowing the field. Don't give up on me yet. But you all have a fun night. And let's see who gets kicked off of The Voice. I'm betting on one of the guys. Oh, well. You guys have fun tonight, okay? Thanks so much for taking your precious time and learning about your health issues and getting yourself well and growing spiritually. What a fun thing to do. You know, start having fun and being happy and giving love. And there's nothing like that.